your boy young I give him that time. Pancho leg stand and punchy America. Banyi doll, banaban. Pancho leg stand and punchy America. Banyi doll, banaban. Walk on your leg, kankaro water no watching. Oga leg, gear, pow, leg. Panda with ya, punchy America. Banyi doll, bano. Chingatongo pandon kujura by a checker. Paku panda gear, what ya be doll venting. Stand up punchy America, Banyi doll, Banaban, Pancha leg stand up punchy America, Banyi doll, Banaban, walk on your leg, Kankaro, what on a watching, Oga leg, gear, pow, leg, Panda with ya, punchy America, Banyi doll, Bano, Chingatongo, Pandon, Kujura, by a checker.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in around the world. Welcome to Lagos State Media Show tonight. Today, this evening, we will be having a guest speaker, General Lual Dau. We'll talk more about the crisis within SOMA and SSUF. So while we're waiting the viewers to join us, we will be playing a song that of our brother artist Gordon Kong.
Belena, Sudana, Belena, 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 Taban, Minzaman, Yarokuna, Chalichuk Ayana, Belena, Mamurta, Sudan, Mujaja, Mafira Alena, Jalna Maidin, Bainana Rabuna. Belena Taban min zaman ya Rabbuna Talajub ayana Belena Mamurta Sudan Mujaja Mafira Alena Jalna Maidin Bainana Rabbuna. Belena Taban min zaman ya Rabbuna.
So guys, start sharing the video, Just share it. Charlie, start everyone. Share the video, guys.
يا تفسدن يا قوانا شتلكم بلد فيهم مشاكل قلبي 200 بردا 200 بردا قلبي 200 بردا يا تفسدن يا قوانا شتلكم بلد فيهم مشاكل قلبي 200 بردا 200 بردا قلبي 200 بردا شاب سودان يا قوانا شتلكم بلد فيهم مشاكل قلبي 200 بردا 200 بردا قلبي 200 بردا أنا بكيد عشانكم يا سودان شتلكم يا جماعة شتلكم يا جماعة ربنا بساعد
alaikum. Welcome back. Thank you, Gordon Kong, with music. Rabuna Basatna, Sudan Mujahija. Shukran Jazilan. We welcome you, General Lual Dau. Welcome, Lagos State Media. And our viewers, all of you, we greet you in the name of our country and in the name of peace. Before we start the show, I would like to introduce my co-host, Abraham Madin Majak, to greet you and give the rules of the house before we start the interview. Abraham, welcome.
Thank you, Brother Isaac. Thank you for all. Thank you, our guest, General Usas Lual Dau. Welcome to Let's Stay Media. And also thank you for our audience for tuning in tonight. Please share the video. Before we give the floor to our guests, we have to set our ground rules. So rules are simple and easy. So please be respectful to our guests and to us too as a host. We don't allow an insult word, any word that is offensive. So when we see that, we will delete you and will give you a warning. And if you keep doing that, we have right to block you. So please, we are here. Even though we are disagree with each other, let us be respectful. So no insult each other, no disrespect each other. So that's simple ground rule. And number two, for the way we conduct our interview at Let's Stay Media is we don't pin the link down, so we cannot invite anybody. Our guests will interact with us as a Let's Stay Media host. We have questions that we listed, and Let's Stay Media host will ask questions to our guests. And after we all exhausted our question that we will ask, and then we will allow our audience, people who are watching, we will let you write your question on the comment site. And then when we see your question, we will pull up on the screen, and Usas Lual Dau will read it and then answer it for you. So for now, I prefer for you, before we start the show, please do not write your question yet. Hold it until you hear us announce that, okay, this is the time for your question. And then you start doing that. Because the reason why I'm saying this, if you write your question right now, the old comments are coming up, they are sliding up, and we could not able to pull your question up for now. So what we want you to do, just hold with your question, and also do your question as a small, don't make it as a huge, big paragraph. Just do a little bit. One paragraph is good, a little bit, not like a half page. That will pull our screen up. So don't do that. If we see that big writing like a page or half a page, we cannot put that up. So just make it as a one paragraph so that our guest will read it and then he can answer your question. So hold your question when we announce that it's the time for you to ask questions, and then start writing your question. So that is, I want to make that clear. So please, for those of you later on who are coming in late, I repeat it again, we will not pin down the link because this is an interview format. We cannot pin down the link because Let's Stay Media will interview our guests only, and then we will allow you later on to write your comment, your question under the comment. So that's a simple ground rule. Thank you for listening. And also too, we are live on Let's Stay Media page. Also, we are live on Let's Stay Media timeline, and also we are live on YouTube. So those of you who have a YouTube account, please feel free to watch us on Let's Stay on YouTube too. You can plug it in your TV screen. It will be like you are watching a movie on your TV. And also, for those of you who have a YouTube account, just describe us on YouTube so that whenever we go live, you will see us. We are live on YouTube. So that is my announcement. Another thing too, please, if you are watching, start sharing the video so that most people can tuning in so they can listen to the General Lual Dau. So thank you so much. I yield back the floor to Isaac.
Thank you so much, Abram. Appreciate the guidelines that you have laid out. First of all, we will start with introduction. To introduce our guest, I would like General Lual to introduce himself to our audience. General Lual, introduce yourself, please. The floor is yours. Who is General Lual?
Hello, Isaac and Madid Majak and the entire Lake State media. Allow me first to greet each and everyone, and also allow me to greet your audience that took time this afternoon to interact with us and share the issues that we need to discuss as a country, as a people of South Sudan. My name is Lual Dau. I am the Secretary of External Affairs, SSUF. Also, I am an alternate member of SSOMA leadership. There is two from each party. Normally, there is General Paul Malong and myself in SSOMA leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, General Lual. Appreciate that. The question will be direct to the opposition is so divided. Can you tell us more about SOMA and the progress in the South Sudan National Agenda for Peace, Unity, and Development? Who is the founder of SOMA? Can you tell us more about formation of SOMA?
Once again, Isaac, thank you very much for the wonderful questions that you asked. But before I answer that question, allow me to remind you and all our viewers that our country, South Sudan, is in a very difficult road at this juncture. There is a serious suffering in our country. I work at the local level in local government with our people, whether in Lake State, whether in Kabweta, whether in Torit, whether in Upper Nile, also Sudanese women and children especially are suffering. There is a very serious suffering as we speak. And this situation that led to that, all this suffering, is a situation that caused by us, the leaders who were trusted to lead these people. That's why, as someone who worked in government before, and also as someone who was in the leadership of the SPLM, I first would like to take this opportunity through Lake State media to apologize to our people that when I was a minister or when I was part of the government, we probably have committed some mistakes. And probably we do not deliver according to satisfaction. But as I speak with you here in Lake State media tonight, and many other of my colleagues in SOMA, we are born-again leaders who saw that the country is going in the wrong direction and we need to take our country to a different direction. That is the essence of why we formed SOMA. SOMA, it is an organization that was formed to address the issue that South Sudanese needed at this juncture. So SOMA is not about politicians, it's not about us, it is about you, it is about people of South Sudan. What the people of South Sudan need at this point. One, if you talk about the genesis of where we came as a people of South Sudan, many of us has contributed, whether in our regions or any other places, we have contributed so much. So that's why we formed SOMA in August 30th, 2019, in The Hague, the Netherlands. And the reason we formed SOMA was to address, one, the issue of the nationhood. Yes, we have a country called South Sudan, but we don't see ourselves as South Sudanese. Everyone, including politicians, including most of the citizens, they see themselves loyal to their tribe first, then probably their region, and then the country last. That's why we formed SOMA, to make sure that all South Sudanese believe and accepted that the first priority should be South Sudan. All of us are South Sudanese and nothing else. That was the genesis of forming a strong alliance that will later on bring all South Sudanese together so that we form and build a nationhood for South Sudan. Also, we were very much concerned about a united South Sudan that embraces and celebrates its diversity. It is something very good that in South Sudan we have 64, 65, maybe even 70 tribes. This is something very, very good. And nothing wrong with it. But the problems comes in when you are trying to use your own tribe as the basis and you want to mix your tribe with the government, things really get mixed up. So we want to embrace that diversity. We want to embrace togetherness. And really the idea behind all this is transform South Sudan into a republic that is anchored in a strong and viable institutions. Because without institutions, really the country cannot function. And that is the crisis we have in the country. It is a crisis of leadership, because in our country today, we don't have institutions. Isaac and Madid, you guys know exactly how the government works. Any government in the world, it is based on institution. What is that first institution? One, in any country must have a clear three branch of the government. One is executive, where you will see the president and all the ministers and the civil servants. All these people are working under the executive umbrella. What they do, it is within the law that are supervised by the judiciary. And also, judiciary and the executive must also put into consideration a very strong parliament that makes sure all the laws are passed through the parliament. Now, in our country, as you guys are aware of, everything you hear in the media, if you open SSS TV, it will be Article 101. This Article 101 read together with Article whatever. Do you hear dismissing or appointing? That's what you hear. The country cannot function.
All right. There's a question which is still hanging here. the division that we, as an opposition, let's say, there's a lot of division within the opposition party, which is SOMA.
Yes.
What caused that division? And who is the founder, or who are those who found SOMA? These two questions, they need to be answered.
Those are very wonderful questions. But before I go, I was just going to give you background of why. Because if you have established Lagos State Media, there are reasons why you did this.
Correct.
So I am going to answer your questions.
Yeah.
And I like your focus that you want me to answer your questions. Something very good. But I just wanted to give you the background. Why even before we have differences in SOMA, why did we even form SOMA in the first place?
Yeah, that's it. All right.
Also, too, Lual, even the statement, that's good because you have been give us the background about what is SOMA and why you guys formed the SOMA. And also, too, I have a follow-up question regarding about your explanation before you didn't answer the first question. I have a question follow-up for what you statement, because you said that you were working in the government before you joined SSUF and SOMA. My question is this, can you tell us why you left the government and joined opposition? And second question, what will you make different when you were in the government, or what you did in the government when you were in a position, and what you will make different now in opposition? What makes you mad, that why you upset, left the government and go to join the rebel movement that to change the regime or to bring change in the government? Why? What went wrong? Can you explain to us what happened? What make General Lual Dau to leave the government and join General Paul Malongawan?
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I was in the government under President Kiir. I was a state minister of agriculture in Northern Bahar Ghazal. Also, I was a deputy governor of Lual State. I resigned from the government.
Okay.
In fact, I resigned and opposed the government before Paul Malong. So when Malong left Juba, I was already an opposition to the government. What we did, along with Malong and other colleagues of mine, we formed SSUF. Okay. But the reasons that I left the government, was exactly what I was saying here. Those were the same reason why we formed SOMA. And to be more specific, when we work at the local level with the citizens, you actually feel the pain and the suffering. One of the examples that I normally say is that in our area, when I was a minister, one of a woman, an elder lady, which I have known for many years. When I went home in 2008, I met her in 2011. This woman was so excited. Why she was excited? Because this woman had 5 boys. One of the boys, all these 5 boys actually joined SPLM, SPLA. 3 of them were killed during the liberation outside of Bahar Ghazal region. They were killed. Some of them were in Upper Nile, some of them were killed in Equatoria. 2 of the boys made it back home. And when one went back to Awil, he was also called to go back to Equatoria, and he was killed there. The 5th boy was killed in Northern Bahar Ghazal fighting Marahalin. So the woman who has 5 boys basically have no kid left. That woman told me, Lual, I am very sorry, and I'm really mad to what happened to me. But in 2011, I was very excited. I was excited because I have seen the reason why my kids died. Those 5 boys died because of something greater than themselves, which is the liberation and the independence of South Sudan. But when I met the same woman again in 2017, she was devastated. Thousands and thousands of our people in northern Bahr and in Abia area, and even some part of Warab, have left the area and went back to Khartoum, where you will see there is a refugee camp. They call them Malish. They were actually apologizing to the Jalaba that we love you. We are very sorry. Please accept us back. These are the people that I was their leader. I was a minister in that area. The same lady was so devastated because she was asking me why 5 of my kids died, so that the result will be something the same like what he had before. So if you talk about the area, Madid and Isaac, if you go to entire South Sudan, there's no education, there's no roads, there's no hospitals, there is no even food for our people. Because of this suffering, I did my best, try to help. I found myself frustrated. There is nothing I can do to my people, except I'm getting a salary, I'm driving a government car, I'm living comfortably among very, very poor citizens. Every night I cannot sleep. Because what it means to go and enjoy and live a comfortable life while your people are suffering. Because I felt the government that I was serving is not delivering service to my people. That's why Najib and Isaac, I left the government and I resigned. You will find my resignation else somewhere, or I can send it to you. There are so many reasons that I laid there. But when I met my colleagues in SSUF and in SOMA, I felt this is the right people that will work together to change the direction of our country. So we need to, that's why we formed SOMA as an organization that will actually work very hard to bring South Sudanese together as one people, and also to establish the institution that I narrated earlier. For example, when you talk about institution, there are something very important in a country like ours. There is a need for a security sector reform. By security sector reform, we have to know exactly what are the number of the SPLA soldiers we should have, whether that is 10,000 or 20,000. But if you ask General Kirmayadi, the president, or you ask General Paul Malong, or you ask General Uyai Deng Ajak, or you ask the current chief of general staff and ask him simple question, how many are the soldiers of the SPLA? None of them will answer it for you. How do you have a country that doesn't know how many soldiers? How do you have a country like that?
You know, thank you, Usas Lual. Before I yield back the floor to my colleague Isaac, this is a very important question. Let's take a moment or a few minutes to discuss about this topic, this question mostly, because this is the important South Sudanese. Because the reason why I bring this one up, General Lual, is because this opposition that left the government and they formed their own movement is because they say, okay, government is not doing a good job. And while you guys were in the government, you are a part of the system. This is where I'm going with this. You guys are part of the system. If you guys are part of the system and you see that the system is so weak that they are not system is not delivery the service to the people. The change that you guys are looking for in South Sudan, why this change you guys didn't do it while you are in the government before you go to the position? Because what we see as a citizen of South Sudan, we see that the reason you guys are moving, and this is the content that we are seeing, people of South Sudan are asking our leaders, our leader, that okay, the reason every time the person is rebel against the government is because he was fired or he was caught or do something corrupted or something that, and then when the Salva Kiir said, okay, General Lual, you are released from your ministry position, you are no longer working with the government, and then the next day you hear General Lual is in the bush with the army, is going against the government, so the government is not doing a good job. While before you are in position, you are not doing nothing. So my question is this: when you are a ministry, what did you do to the people of Louis State or to Northern Barkazal? What did you do when you were there so that the people of Northern Barkazal, they say that the ministry of Lual, when he was in the position or in the office, he did this A, B, C, D. And when now, if he become your supporter, if he become another position of a president, for example, he will do a great thing than President General Salva Kiir did or any other. So can you tell us what did you do when you were a ministry in Northern Barkazal?
Yeah, Madida, I will tell you. But I just want to remind you guys that if we continue going back to what I was doing and the background of my government career and all this, that in itself, we will not even reach the SOMA issue today. But I'm okay with you. Because
that's okay. We will go back. This is important because we will take like 10 minutes on this.
That's good. That's good.
We'll go back to our
let me answer it briefly, quickly.
Yeah.
One, Madid, when you are in government, there are one important thing that has to be there. If you take any government, take government of South Sudan alone, any government, when it is functioning, they have what is called budget, and you are aware of this. The budget, it is actually passed by the National Assembly in Juba. On that budget, there is a certain amount of money that is allocated to the state. Do you know South Sudan budget? If you look it up, you will find the amount of the money that are allocated to the 10 states. I'm not even talking about the 32 states. I'm talking about the 10 states. The amount of the money that is allocated to 10 states is less than the amount that is allocated to the Ministry of Cabinet Affairs under Lomoro. What does the Ministry of Lomoro does? Lomoro is a head. Okay.
Somebody calling you?
Yeah, someone is calling me. Yeah.
So for those of you, please, can you let them know that you are on live so that they cannot call you interrupt?
Yes. Do you hear the voice?
Yeah, we can hear the ring. Yeah, somebody calling.
Someone called me. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I want to tell what I want to say to make it short.
You
will be seeing a state government without budget. So if you are a minister without budget to deliver services, you are just like a soldier who is sent to the war without a gun. Can you really fight the enemy? Now, what does that mean? In order for a minister of agriculture like me to function, there is a need for the national government to allocate money to the state, and then from the state, I will go and deliver services. So basically, in short, there is no money, not only for me or anybody else. The only money we get at the state level are salaries and nothing else. So what did I do when I was a minister? I cannot just give up and say, if there is no money, I cannot do anything. I became creative. So I went and talked to the UN agencies, and I told them, hey, you guys help us help our people by supporting certain programs through the Ministry of Agriculture. So I introduced in the ministry what is called Food for Work. What does that mean? It means any citizen who want to cultivate, the UN agency will give them food so that they can cultivate. But you are not going to be hand out like, our people, because they spend so many years with the UN assistant and UN agencies, they become relying so much on the UN assistant. But I said, I don't want that. I don't want our people to get hand out. What I want is to make sure that our people are actually getting some food for work. You work, you get food. That program was very successful. I was able to help widows, orphans, a lot of people that needed help. Secondly, I have increased the production of a wood rice scheme from 1,500 Fadan to 3,500. And that production of rice was actually given to the farmers. I did that through help with the UN agencies. Okay. Also, not only that, but I have introduced a new way of agriculture production, because we cannot afford agricultural equipment. Yet the country we have, which is South Sudan, is a country that has a lot of potential when it comes to agriculture. When I met Dr. John here in Iowa in 2003, he told us, with South Sudanese students, that please, you finish your school, come back home. We are going to use the money of agriculture. We are going to use the money from the oil to fuel the agriculture. That was the intention of Dr. John. But unfortunately, that vision and mission was thrown away. So my brother, I have tried my best as a Minister of Agriculture. But as I told you in my opening remarks, that I apologize to my people, that probably I did not perform. Why? Because it is not their fault for me not to have a budget. So it is myself and my colleague in the SPLM. And that's why, Madid and Isaac, I resigned from the government. I was not fired. This is for your record. And I have resigned simply because I have seen the government is going this way and the country is going this way. So I left the government and I follow my people, which is we have to make sure that we transform the country into a new direction.
Thank you, General Lual Dau. Appreciate it for answering my questions. For those of you just tuning in, please, we are not going to invite anybody. We are not going to pin down the link. Just listen. We are interviewing General Lual, so nobody we are allowed. So now I'm yelling back the floor to Isaac. We are going back to our question. So, Comrade Isaac, take it back. Thank you.
Thank you, Madid, and thank you, General Lual. Let's go back to the crisis within SOMA and SUF. As we asked the question about you formed SOMA as an alliance umbrella that bringing in different faction or opposition together. So what is the vision and who founded it?
Yes. And I was almost finished with the vision. And I was going to go and explain to you what the root cause of the conflict within SOMA. Now, what I was trying to say earlier is, for example, one of very important things that is important to all of us as South Sudanese is to have a security sector reform. By then, we have to know the number of soldiers. We have to make sure that, for example, national security in Juba today will accuse you, for example, will accuse you, Isaac, that Isaac has committed treason against the state. There will be the same people who will arrest you. There will be the same people who will even judge you. Okay? And possibly you could even be killed by the same institution. And in any country, the national security job is to collect the information, give the information to the right authority, so that that authority is able to execute the laws. So these are the reasons, and many others, we have formed SOMA. So it is very important. Through SOMA, we want to make sure that the resources are clearly divided between the national government and the state government. And also, the resources also are clearly divided between the state government and county government. And also the resources are also divided between the counties and the Buma administration. And then when the resources reach Buma, that's where citizens, you, our mothers, our parents, get the development they need. By then, in your village, you will have a school, you will have hospital, you will have road, you will have clean water. And this is actually taking town to our people. And that was the dream that we as South Sudanese fought for. And that was the reason those 5 kids from that woman died during the war of liberation. And that's why millions of South Sudanese were killed during the war of liberation. Now, the reason you are calling me this evening really is to find out what is the root cause of the crisis within SOMA. And I know you have interviewed some of my colleagues. I watched that interview.
Yes.
And what they presented as the root cause, Isaac, and these are not actually the root cause. What they have represented to you is what they think, what they want you to believe, and South Sudanese. But what I will represent to you today, it is the facts. Because we need to cross-check one another. Now, SOMA, the word SOMA, people hear about it. It was an alliance that was formed in August 30th in Netherlands. Who are these people? Who are the people who formed SOMA? This is a very important question. You need to know that.
Yeah.
As you remember, when the peace agreement was signed in Khartoum, there is groups of South Sudanese opposition who refused to join the comprehensive peace agreement, the revitalized peace agreement. Because we felt that that agreement did not address the root cause of the conflict in South Sudan. That's why we did not really join that agreement. So there was a first alliance that was formed. It was an alliance called SSNDA, which is South Sudan National Democratic Alliance. That alliance is under General Thomas Swaki. And then there is real SPLM. And the real SPLM is led by none other than
General
Pagana Momukich. And SSUFA, also you guys know it very well, is led by General Paul Malongawan. So there is an equation that is clearly, you can say, when you talk about the SOMA, it is basically SSUFA under General Paul Malongawan plus real SPLM under General Pagana Mom plus SSNDA under General Thomas Shirilo equals SOMA. Anything other than that, if the SSND alone cannot be a SOMA, SSUF alone cannot be SOMA, real SPLM cannot be SOMA. So that is SOMA that was signed, and we agree, and there are signature of 3 leaders. If you have a Hague Declaration, and I know you guys are journalists, you probably have the Hague Declaration. You will see in the Hague Declaration there are 3 signatures. Isaac, I hope you will find it and share it with your audience. Only 3 leaders who signed. And the 3 leaders who signed Hague Declaration are, again, General Pagana Mom, General Paul Malone, and General Thomas.
I have the document.
You have the document. Very good.
Yeah.
Please share it with your audience. That's why I like Lake State Media. You guys are so smart. You know everything we are talking here. So that when someone show up here, you need to ask that person, where are you getting this information? We have the document.
Yeah.
That document, if you see it, there is 3 signatures. 3 leaders. These leaders are great. All of them are great leaders that I have so much respect for them. Number 1, General Paul Malone is a man who dedicated his life. He's a man who fought the war of liberation to satisfaction. He's a man who commands a huge respect among South Sudanese. He's the leader of SSUF. Another leader is General Pagana Momoki. Pagan is a man at a very young age. He decided to leave his school. He decided to leave his family and join the SPLM. Pagan worked very hard, mobilized the youth, and fought along with our hero, late Dr. John Garang, until they signed comprehensive peace agreement. And later on, Pagan continued to do the best for the people of South Sudan. This is another leader for SOMA. You need to know this, very important. Not about Pagan because you already know this, but you need to know there are 3 leaders. The 3rd leader is General Thomas Shirilo Swak. Thomas Shirilo is someone, even though we have differences in SOMA, I still have so much respect for him. The reason I respect General Thomas Shirilo are so many. 1, Thomas was one of the young South Sudanese who managed to go to the military college in Khartoum. And he was an officer in Sudanese army. And we all know that when you are an officer in Sudanese army, you live comfortably. But Thomas, in 1992, he decided to leave that comfortable job, and he and those of General Agustino Jarala and other South Sudanese, they mobilized themselves, and they have almost captured Juba in 1992. So Thomas, to me, is actually a continuation of a strong and great leaders who happen to be from Equatoria. I put him in the category of those of Father Cetrino, those great leaders like Guadala, those great leaders of Joseph Lago, those great leaders like Uncle Odo, all these, and even those of Dr. James Waniga, Maboto Mamur, and many other sons and daughters of Equatoria who fought the war of liberation. In fact, some of them have died fighting for the cause. So this leader, I have so much respect for him. But the reason we have crisis in Soma today is because this great leader that I have described, General Thomas, was taken away from us by some radicals, radical individuals, come and took General Thomas away from the vision and the mission that he has dedicated his life for many years. So for 7 months, we've been discussing the reason why we have crisis in Soma today. 7 months we are trying to develop charter, because if you have early when I was introduced, you guys lay out the rule of the house.
Yeah.
Because the media has certain rule you follow. We in Soma, we said before we do anything, let's agree on the rules, charter, so that the charter will guide us. When we did the charter is a very big document. We agree in a lot of issues, but there were 5 issues that we did not agree on it, and those are the genesis of the crisis. These 5 are, and you need to write them down. 1 is the composition of Soma. According to the Hague, it is clearly there are 3 leaders, and you saw the document. But when we start sitting and sitting in formal meetings, some who used to sit with us as members of SOMA, they decided to leave their seats.
Yeah. General Lual, excuse me. I would like to excuse myself. I'm dropping off my kid to school, and I will be back very soon. Will join you shortly. Abraham Madid, you will take over, and I have to take these children to school, and I will be back shortly. It's Monday.
Very important, please take your time. Don't rush through the traffic.
It's all right. Thank you.
I'll see you shortly, Isaac. Yeah. Go ahead.
So Madid, there is, as you read the SOMA declaration, there is 3 leaders. Now, as we are developing our charters, another 3 leaders decided to leave their seats, and they walked to the high table, and they start claiming themselves, we are 6 instead of 3. So we said, my brother, how we are 6? When we signed Hague Declaration, we are 3. These are the signatures. Where you come with 6? Please, if you want to be a leader, wait. Your time will come. But don't invite yourself to a high table. You have to wait until the right time when you are a leader, because all of us cannot be leaders at the same time. Even you, Madid, at some point in South Sudan, you will become a leader. So this is the reason why we have crisis in Soma. We have 3 more leaders who decided to invite themselves to a high table. And according to the Hague Declaration, we have 3 leaders. That is 1. Second, and this is the second reason, okay, we said there is a need to have a structure. By the structures, what we mean, we want to make sure that there is a leader for SOMA, 1 leader. There is a need for a deputy chair. There is a need for secretary. And the rest of people will be filling in those positions. Okay? That also we have disagreement over it. Because some of our colleagues think, no, there is no need for 3 leaders. It is better that we are all leaders, because their interest, they want to be leaders. Everyone wants to be a leader in South Sudan. We said even Lagos State Media and other any organization, there must be a leader, and then there is someone who is deputy to that person, because everyone cannot be leader at the same time. Okay, so this is second reason. The issue of leadership and the structures. Some of us in SSUF, in the real SPLM, we think it is better we have one leader. It doesn't matter who is that leader. The leader could be Thomas Rilo, could be Paul Malone, it could be General Pagana Mom. It doesn't matter who he is, but we have to have one leader. We cannot have 3 leaders. But even some people wanted us to have 6 leaders. What are we doing here? Okay. So that is number 2. Number 3.
Yeah, before you move to number 3, I want you to name those other 3 leaders, because the reason why I'm saying this, before that SOMA, there were 6 articles. There were 6 because the SOMA was combined with 6 parties, different parties. So this is SSUF, which is your party, Real SPLM, which is Pagana Mom party, and NAS, which is General Thomas Chirilo. And number 4 is NDM, which is a party for Emmanuel Jawin. And the other 2, which is like, is it P something? So those 2, I forgot. Those are 6 that are combined together in SOMA. They are together. And that, if I can recall, you guys, when your first time you met with the government in Rome, all these 6 leaders in this different party, opposition party, they went there, and both of you guys sit together. So during that time, so who is, and that's what the question in number 1 that we ask you, who's the leader of SOMA? And you see the mathematics here, you have SSUFA and Real SPLM SSNDA equals SOMA. So is those 3 parties, those 3 leaders, which is I want you to name those 3 leaders, are they a part of SSNDA or not?
Yes, good question. Madid, you are right. But SOMA was formed in The Hague, the Netherlands. That's where the SOMA was formed. And you said earlier that you have the document. Okay?
Right. So I had the document here. It was dated on August, because I don't want to mess up the date. It was signed here. So it was August 30th, 2019.
Very good. If you look in the end of that document, how many signatures you see there?
I see 3 of them.
Okay, signature under, and then you name the organization that you see there. How many?
So I have South Sudan National Democrat, SSNDA, Real SPLM, which is Real SPLM, which is General Pagan, and General Paul Malonga one, which is SSUF.
Okay. That is the Hague Declaration, right? That's what brings us together.
Okay. So do
you see? Before I go, I will go ahead. But do you see the name Emmanuel Jawin there?
No, it's not there.
Exactly. That is part of the confusion that we have.
Okay.
Do you see the name Lual Dau there?
No.
So Emmanuel Jawin or Lual Dau or any name or Maditi or anybody cannot be part of that document. Because that document, from what you read, there are 3 leaders.
Okay.
3. Okay. Now, where do Emmanuel comes in? Every organization has members, like SSUF. There are members of that organization. Myself, okay, our former spokesperson, you interviewed before, Dr. Sandy Dijon, Honorable Nyamach, and the entire leadership of SSUF. There is millions of members that are probably watching here. Okay, This is SSUF. Real SPLM, there is Pagana movement, there's a lot of other leaders under him, those of Uya Denga Jack, those of Dr. Shirilo. SSNDA, under it, there are some. This is where Emmanuel Ajawin comes in. Emmanuel Ajawin is actually the leader. He was actually part of Dr. Lam Makol Ajawin party, the one that went to Juba. So they divide the party. Lam went to Juba, Dr. Lam went to Juba as the leader of that party, and Emmanuel did not go to Juba, but he joined SSNDA. So Emmanuel is under SSNDA. Okay? You get me? That's one. There is another leader that is under SSNDA, is Odra. Odra is under Dr. Garwich. Okay? My good friend Dr. Garwich is the leader of Odra. Is under SSNDA. Okay? And Dr. Bakindi is also a leader. You know, the party that was led by Bakasoro, Governor Bakasoro, if you remember, it has divided itself. Some of them went to Juba with Bakasoro, and some left outside. And those who left outside are those of Dr. Bakindi. Okay? So these is small parties, okay? All of them, they went under General Thomas Shirilo Swaki. And they formed what is called SSNDA. So there are three. So what happened in Rome, okay, and this is what you were saying earlier. In the previous meeting that we attended as SOMA, those of Emmanuel decided to go and sign on the document without any authorization. And even we told them in our SOMA leadership meeting, why are you signing? Okay, there are three leaders. But they were embarrassing us in front of international community. So we said, no, we cannot argue over signature, you know. That's why you see six signature. But for the fact of the matter is, you have the Hague Declaration. You need to ask them, where is their name? Okay? They are not there. So there are three leaders. And this is why we said, if we are going to be here with Lagos State media, we have to tell the truth with evidence. I challenge anybody who thinks that SOMA is not formed with three leaders. Let them produce the evidence. Okay? So I hope I make myself clear when it comes to the issue of leadership.
Right. So yes, and this is the important thing that we need to stay on this point, because what I see when you guys went to Rome a couple of weeks or 3 weeks ago to meet with the government. So I want you to talk more about what happened in Rome, because when you guys, government was so confused when the delegation of government went to meet with you guys, in the end of government had to meet with the two groups separately. Two, like now, SOMA has been divided into two. Split into two, which is SOMA 1 and SOMA 2. So now the confusion come here in SOMA. So SOMA 1 and SOMA 2, and before that, General Malone was suspended in SOMA. And which is all your party is suspended. And also too, General Pagana Mom, he refused to sign the charter. So can you tell us why the General Malone was suspended? And this the root cause of the reason why you guys are divided into two groups, SOMA 1 and SOMA 2?
No, but listen, I know you have interviewed some of my colleagues.
Yes, I did. And that's the reason why.
And that's why what you are telling me is what they told you. But it doesn't mean it is true. Listen to me, because I'm telling you now the facts. Okay, before you conclude, because you may even need to invite them and tell them why you guys are telling me this to me.
Yeah, because I'm talking with SSOMA now, but I didn't go to South Sudan United Front.
No, even I'm not talking about South Sudan United Front.
Yeah,
I'm not even talking about South Sudan United Front. I'm talking about SSOMA. Okay, you have interviewed people about SSOMA. So what I want to tell you is, you asked me earlier, Isaac asked me earlier before he left, what are the reasons that you guys are fighting over SSOMA? What is the root cause of the conflict within SSOMA, right? That was the question.
Yeah, that was the question.
And I have already narrated 3 reasons. And I left with 2. Can you please allow me to complete these 2?
Yeah, complete. Go ahead. Put 2.
So at least you have 5 reasons that why we have crisis in SSOMA. And then I will tell you what happened.
Okay.
And then I will tell you what happened in Rome. We will have time. There's no problem, no rush.
Okay. Go ahead. Complete.
Now, the 3 reasons I told you, 1 is, you know them, right? You don't need me to repeat them.
Yes. So 1 is what? Is Commissioner of SSOMA, and number 2?
Yes, number 1 is that there is the leadership. It is 3/6. According to the Hague Declaration, there are 3 leaders that you saw. Okay, that is 1. 2 is there is what it has to be 1 leader for SSOMA.
Okay, 1 leader for SSOMA. Okay.
And then there will be a deputy and a secretary and all the structures to be filled in. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3 is the issue of federalism. Okay. Some people are misrepresenting the issues. The issue of federalism, before I talk about the differences about the issue of federalism, what is federalism? Federalism is a constitutional process that people normally use through the constitution. You use constitution, and through it you do devolution of power and resources to the citizen, from the national government to state government, and then from state to the county, and from county to Buma, to Payam and Buma. Okay, this is the federalism. But that process of devolution of resources and power, we have no differences over it. We in SSUF, we believe in federalism. Real SPLM believe in federalism. SSNDA believe in federalism. So all of us, when it comes to federalism, we agree on it. But our differences, as we start going to the peace talk, we said, let's define what kind of federalism that we want as SSOMA, because we need to speak in one voice now. Okay? So our differences, Madid, is over what type of federalism.
Okay.
We in SSUF and in the real SPLM, okay, like some of us really make it very clear that if, yes, we can include federalism, but the federalism we need is a federalism that is basically devolution of power and resources to the people, nothing more. An example is the one here in the United States, the one in Australia, the one in many other countries. Okay, this is what we want. But there are some of our colleagues who want ethnic federalism. Okay, they want to divide our people along ethnic line. And ethnic federalism is one they have in Ethiopia. Okay, they have federalism in Ethiopia, but it is called ethnic federalism. And we said, no, we cannot divide our people along ethnic line. We South Sudanese, we are one people. Whether we have tribes, we have regions, we have states, we are one people. So why we divide them along ethnic line to form federalism? No, we don't want ethnic federalism. So our differences in SSOMA is between people who want ethnic federalism and those who want federalism. based on the devolution of resources and power. Okay? So now they will go in the media and say, no, Malong doesn't want federalism. That's not true. How will you talk about not wanting federalism and there is a federalism in the SSUFA? Okay? So that is reason number 3. We are dividing. Reason number 4, you know, there is a conflict in South Sudan now since 2013. And people don't actually describe the problem correctly. And Dr. Jones said, if you want to solve a problem, you must define what is the problem. So that after you define it, you can find a solution. There is some of our colleagues in SSOMA, I'm not even talking about the other groups, okay? They will go to social media and start accusing one tribe, okay? That this tribe is causing the problem in South Sudan. This tribe is doing this. I don't need to mention the name of the tribe because you know it. Which tribe they mention all the time here, okay? And we said, my brother, if you want to talk about SSOMA, if you want to have a SSOMA as an organization, don't mention a certain tribe that is actually to blame for the cause of South Sudan. We believe the problem of South Sudan, people who did it, all are from all walks of South Sudan. They are not from one tribe. So please, let's make sure nobody in SSOMA leadership can mention a tribe. And we have to make it within guideline and charter to outlaw that there is nothing called tribe to be mentioned in any speech. Okay? These people who want to continue mentioning certain tribe, they didn't want that to be part of bylaws or charter. So that's the reason number 4 we have differences in SSOMA. The reason number 5 is the issue. There are some of the leaders who want, you know, in South Sudan there is national crisis, national agenda, national problem that we are facing as South Sudanese. But there is a local agenda. Everyone has their own local agenda. There are people who want us to address local agenda first before national agenda. We told them no. It's the other way around. Let's find solution for the national agenda. Okay? And then the local agenda will be solved within the national agenda. So that is reason number 5. We are actually fighting in SSOMA for the last 7 months. So after 7 months, and we attend the meetings, secret meetings within our SSOMA leadership, we've been sharing here and there. What happened? These radical groups, and I told you earlier, it's not General Thomas is someone who was pulled away. Okay, these radical groups, they came and took General Thomas away from SSOMA, and they went back to SSNDA. Remember the SSNDA I told you earlier. Okay, and they changed the name of SSNDA. You know, like in South Sudan, if you become Christian, you change your name. If you are Madid, okay, and you want to be baptized, you change your name from Madid to say Marco, okay, and then people will call you Madid or Marco. But in essence, it's the same thing, right? Whether you are called Madid or Marco is the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, when I was joined the church to be a Christian, I was baptized Abraham. So my Christian name is Abraham.
Exactly. You were, no, I was just giving an example.
I know. I'm just yes, I know.
Yeah.
And then I'm leading into the button that
exactly. So Abraham, if I call you Abraham, it is the same thing as Madid. Mushkila? I can call you Madid.
Yes.
I can call you Abraham as your Christian name, but it's the same thing.
Right.
Okay? So what happened in SSOMA, our brothers who were in SSNDA, okay, Just SSNDA, one section that signed, you see the signature.
Mm-hmm.
They left SOMA, they took Thomas away. They said, yeah, these people are not listening. Okay, we've been talking to them for 7 months. So leave them. And let's go back, let's sit there in a separate room. And they changed the name SSNDA because basically the same people. Okay? They changed the name from SSNDA to SOMA. And they claim to be SOMA. Okay? That is what happened. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now these people are not SOMA. Their true name is SSNDA. Okay? Now, I want to appeal to General Thomas through Lagos State media that General Thomas, you are a great leader. We still respect you. People are suffering in South Sudan. People sleep hungry with no food, no road, no schools, suffering. Please come back to SOMA. Join your brother, General Pagana Momukich. Join your brother, Paul Malongawan, and let's work together so that we form a South Sudan that is based on the unity of the people of South Sudan. It is based on bringing a new vision of hope for our country. It is based on making sure that there is equality, there is justice, there is freedom, there is democracy for all the people of South Sudan. That is what happened. And we are calling through Lagos State media, General Thomas, to listen to us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Before I go ahead, let me introduce you my co-host, Agar Mabok. He's one of the hosts, Lagos State media. So I don't want you to know who this guy is. So he's one of the hosts. So we will call. So Agar, I think you have those questions with you. I will let you have a chance to ask some questions. Yeah, before we proceed ahead with some more questions, General Lual. So let us stick to, because you mentioned this fight, that the root cause of SOMA breaking up. So as you mentioned about federalism, ethnic things, and this is one of the root cause, because I hear one of the interview that you see in the SOMA. So what is is it the federalism, like ethnic federalism, that is one of the reason that General Thomas Shirilo don't want to be a part of you guys and go to the from his own SOMA? Or is it because you guys are disagreeing for the leadership? Because what I see here is there's people you guys are fighting in the leadership who will be the leader of SOMA, and also too there's no the issues of federalism, because you will disagree on these issues. So why is the reason why you guys are disagreeing on federalism? What type of federalism SSUF won, and what type of federalism NAS and other party won? So ethnic federalism you mentioned, and I see some of the South Sudanese calling for the federalism, which is they need 3 regions. They are called for 3 regions. So which is a part of federalism, ethnic federalism that you mentioned before. So they call it for 3 regions. And you guys disagree with it. Can you tell us more what, because that's what caused the root cause of the split, and that and we need you to explain more about suspension of General Malone and with your group. Why? Because what I see, and I'm quoting a lot of things here, I'm not to come up with some of the issues, because when Ambassador Emmanuel was here last week or 2 weeks ago, he will mention something about that. The reason why you guys have a disagreement is because first, South Sudan United Front was suspended because of they have evidence. And this has come to you. I have that question for you, especially you, General Lual, because they talk a lot about you, that you are, and this question, I don't want to go with that question yet. Let me hold that question yet. So they said, you, Thomas Rilo are not agreeing with General Malone and Pagana Mom. And Pagana Mom refused to sign the coalition charter because General Malone was suspended. That's why he refused, because he disagreed with those guys. Can you explain us more what up inside? So, and then you guys break up, and then government meet separated with your group and meet with the other Thomas and Emmanuel and the rest. So, give us insight about this question that I just explained.
Yeah, Madid, thank you, and I'm also happy to see one of your hosts joining us. He seemed to be a very friendly person, so I'm happy with him too, to be for him.
Yeah, yeah, you will. I will give some of the questions that he can ask you later.
Yeah, to be joining us. Madid, when it comes to the issue of disagreement, I give you 5 reasons.
Yes.
And those 5 reasons, the leadership is not about who will be a leader. That's not the issue. Okay? It's the issue of some people are saying we need to have one leader. It doesn't matter who the leader is. We do not even agree who that would be, who the leader will be. Okay? Is the idea that there are people who are saying we should have what is called leadership council. What does mean? People are led by a group of people as their leaders. Okay? And we say that no, there is a need for one leader. Okay? It doesn't matter who the leader is. So in essence, we are not fighting over who will be the leader, but we are fighting over a need for one leader, or we have a leadership. Okay? Now, the 5 reasons I've told you, when it comes to the issue of federalism, I explained to you that we in the SSUF A and Real SPLM and SSNBA all agree that there is a need for a federalism, because federalism is a popular demand of South Sudanese. That's why we put it there.
But the question is still remain the same type of federalism.
Now the question you ask, there are people who are calling for ethnic federalism, and there are people who are calling for a federalism that is based on the devolution of power and resources of the people. And you want specific, you want me to give you names and tell you 1, 2, 3, 4 are the people for this and people for this.
Right.
My brother Madid, as we speak today, we still SSOMA. Okay? And there is a hope that tomorrow or next week or next month we will come together. So I'm not going to be here destroying and accusing and exposing everything about SSOMA in social media. But if there is a need be, if we reach a point of where we really have to say everything, okay, I will be happy to come back and give you the names of people who are calling for ethnic federalism and the name of people who are actually attacking certain tribe on a daily basis. I'll be willing to do that. But for today, leave it aside. Now, when we talk about the issue of suspension that you mentioned, this is a big joke. If you have 3 organizations, right, like you saw it on the Hague Declaration, okay, and they say when they came to your show, they said four people, 4 leaders have suspended SSUF, right? Okay, you need to call them and ask them where these 4 people come, and the entire SSOMA was led by 3 leaders. Do you see what is wrong with that? If you have 3 leaders, How many of you in Lagos State media as presenters? How many are you guys?
So as a board, we are more than 12, but the hosts are...
How many hosts?
We are 5.
5 hosts, okay.
I mean 6. We were actually 6.
6 hosts, okay. If you guys are 6 hosts, and some of them, they decided to dismiss you. They said Madid is not good anymore, we don't want him. Okay? And they said we suspend Madid. And they said Madid was suspended by 8 hosts. Then is that correct? Where will they come with 8? And you guys are only 6. If they are going to suspend you, will be 5 suspending 1, right? So in SSOMA, we are 3. General Thomas Chirilo, General Paul Malongawan, and General Pagana Mom. These are the 3 leaders. If two,
so you are telling her that these 3 leaders are the one who will take a board to suspend some of their members.
Of course, these are the only 3 leaders who are officially leaders of SSOMA. Actually, none of them should suspend anybody. This is an alliance, okay? These are the people who said, let's come together. We are already, you know, SSUF has always been there, okay? Before SSOMA, okay? And it will continue to be there after SSOMA because it is a party that has members, okay? When I went to Rome, first time, last year in July, I was invited there as representing SSUF. I did not go as a SSOMA. So SSUF been in Rome, been everywhere in the US, everywhere in Australia, Canada as SSUF, okay? So we are alliance of 3 leaders. SSUF, SSNDA, and the real SPLM. What we have nothing called suspension. What we have, if we don't, this is a political arrangement, okay? If we disagree and we feel we are not doing well, we are not comfortable, we call ourselves in Netherlands and say, you know, Ajama, we formed an alliance and now things are not going well. You SSUF go on your way, real SPLM go your way, SSNDA go your way. And we just depart as friends and brothers. Okay? There is no need for suspension and noise and attack and misinformation and personal characterization. There is no need for all that, my friend. So whoever telling you that they have suspended SSUF and they suspend by 4 is dreaming. There is no 4 leaders in SSOMA. The entire SSOMA has only 3 leaders. Where do you come with 4 leaders? You need to ask them, where are these 4 leaders?
This allegation, they are saying that South Sudan United Front has suspended, General Malong has suspended because of a leaked document that you guys are cited. There's some of the information they received that you guys have a backdoor channel with the government. Is that true?
But Madida, I already told you. What they told you in your show was that 4 leaders suspend SSUF. That's what they said, right?
Right.
But now you know the truth. There's only 3 leaders, and you have the Hague Declaration.
Yes, I understand that. I understand that really, but
okay, if you understand that, the whole thing, okay, is nothing but propaganda. Nobody has a power to suspend anybody. Okay, that's one. Number 2, we don't have any back deal with the government. Why should we have a back deal? And we are talking to the government in Rome. Recently, when I came from Rome, I met with government officials. What we were discussing is a peace talk. Why do I need to go to have a secret deal or a background deal with the government while I can meet the government in Rome? Okay? This doesn't make sense. It's baseless. It's the people who are desperate. They just want to confuse South Sudanese. And again, if there is a suspension, if there is a need for suspension, let me make it very clear. You have 3 leaders, 2 leaders can suspend 1. Okay? And those 2 leaders, let's say if there is a signature carrying General Thomas Cirillo and General Pagana Mom suspending Malong, okay, that is SSOMA. Or Malong and Pagan, they can suspend Cirillo because there are 2, if there is a need. But let me tell you that there is no even need to suspend anybody. Because even if you suspend, let's say if we suspend now Thomas Cirillo, you think SSND will not continue, will continue. Okay? So this is something that has no basis. Besides, what even do you use to suspend people when you have a charter that we are actually developing? They told you that we are developing a charter. And the charter is where there are laws and regulations that you can use to suspend people. What they are even using to suspend people? These people are just dreaming. They are telling you things that are baseless. Okay? And there is nobody who can suspend Paul Malone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, General Lual. Let me yield back the floor to my co-host, Agar Mabok, so that he can go ahead and ask you more questions. Agar, welcome.
Thank you, Brother Medit, and all the viewers. Good morning. It's morning here for us in Australia. Welcome our brother and General Lual Dau and all the rest of his team. My question, I will just have 2 questions, and then the rest will follow up with the viewers, and then we can get back again if there is any question left over. My question to General Lual Dau is, how long is suspension for someone who has been suspended from a party or from all the allies that you guys are having a division or crisis in SSOMA? For example, if I have been suspended as a guard and I was one of your members, how long the suspension to get back to the party again? How long will suspension be?
Agar, this is a good question that you asked. And as I mentioned earlier, we are forming a new organization. And we are actually different over charter. And the charter is where there will be rules and regulations. Okay? If at all we need to suspend someone, okay, then you will be giving a letter that you are suspended for the following reason, and you are suspended based on your whatever you committed. They could say you are suspended for 3 months, you are suspended for 6 months, you are suspended for 2 months, based on the mistake that you commit. Okay? So at this point, as a SSOMA, we are still intact, running our affair as normal. As I told you, I just came from Rome. And we are running and talking with the government as SSOMA. What happened? It is not a suspension. It is that General Thomas Cirillo left SSOMA and they went back to what they call SSND, the comfort zone. Okay? So you are right. If there is a need for us to suspend someone, even in the future, if there is a need, after we pass the charter of SSOMA, then we will have to indicate to you that you are suspended with effect from this day until this day, whether 6 months, 2 months, 3 months, according to what you committed. Okay? So this is something that we hope we will not use, because the reason really we form SSOMA is not about suspending people. It's about trying to address the suffering of our people. Okay? It's about to find a solution for SPLA soldiers who have gone now for almost 12 months without salaries. Is to find a solution for many South Sudanese, okay, who are dying because there is no clean water. Agar, if you go to your home area today, you will not find clean water. Some of you from Western world, when you go back home, you may end up getting sick because you are drinking straight from the river. These are the issues we should spend time debating. How we provide clean water to our people. How we provide education to our children. How we provide health services to our children and ourselves. Unfortunately, we're spending a lot of time trying to talk about something that does not help anything. Imagine for a second, let's say you have suspended SSUF and General Paul Malone. Are we really seriously is the biggest thing that will solve our crisis here in South Sudan? Because if that was something that will solve our crisis, I would be the first person to join that let's suspend SSUF to solve this, because our people are suffering. My brothers. So,
Okay.
in a nutshell, if there is a need, and we hope not to use it to answer your question, the person it will be according to the crime that people committed.
Thank you, General Lual. And also, when you guys form SOMA separately from the government, it's because of all these issues, and it was about the leadership too, if I'm not wrong. And now you guys are having same issues. So what is the difference from now? Because you guys are in SOMA, and you said that there is a crisis in the government, and you guys don't like the system and all this. That's why you guys separated from the uh, IG, and there's IO and SOMA. Now, all this process, and you mentioned earlier that people of South Sudan are suffering. How do you think that you guys are going to rescue South Sudan civilian from all this suffering? And you guys are having a lot of issues, whether within SOMA or within IO or within the government itself. How are you guys going to manage that to rescue South Sudan civilian?
Yeah, this is a great question, Agar. It is an unfortunate situation. We are not supposed to argue ourselves and even have differences. But this is part of human nature. You know, you will find people that you marry a beautiful girl, you establish a wonderful house, and without knowing there is always crisis. Every nation, every human being, where they are more, sometimes people have conflict with themselves. Okay, this is the nature of human being. So it is expected that when people come together as such a huge alliance that is called SOMA, yes, it is expected there will be differences. That's when something that is obviously is expected. But what is important, we should have ways of solving our problems. One of the ways we should be able actually to wash our dirty laundry in a closed door. But the reason why you are asking that question, and many other South Sudanese are wondering now, because most of South Sudanese were hoping that SOMA will deliver what they really are fighting for, which is to protect and help our country. Instead, some of our brothers decided to wash our laundry in public instead of SOMA house. Okay? But Agar and Madid, let me assure you that the problem we have will come to an end very soon. We are hopeful that we will come together with all these differences. We will come together in the end. You know why? Because all of us are South Sudanese. All of us will need one another sooner or later. And because with that in mind, there is a hope that very soon we will realize that this issue of fighting in social media and accusing and counter-accusing will not help anybody. In fact, it will hurt all of us. And that's why we are hopeful that at some point, some of these radicals will come into their sense and respect themselves and behave like an adult and come back to SOMA so that if there is any differences, we solve them in a very respectful manner. Secondly, we in SOMA, we did not form it because of positions. Our leaders had enough positions. If you talk about General Thomas Cirillo, when he left, he was a deputy chief of staff. If you talk about Pagana Mom is the Secretary General of the SPLM. Is the only elected Secretary General of the SPLM, including, as I speak with you, if Pagan wants to go to Juba as the Secretary General of the SPLM, he will go because nobody can fire him. Because we elected him as our Secretary General in 2008 in the convention of the SPLM. Nobody will take him away from that position except the same convention. So he has position. We did not form SOMA because of positions. General Paul Malone was the SPLA commander for many years. He was a governor. He was actually the one who established the national security in South Sudan. He was the chief of staff. He was a governor. So if it is the issue of the position, he had enough position. If you talk about all these leaders, including myself, I was a minister, I was a deputy governor. Okay? I cannot join a movement because of position. What position will I get? Either I will be a minister or whether I'll be a governor or be a deputy governor. Will that change anything? No. So we do not join SOMA, we do not form SOMA so that we get position. No. We have formed SOMA so that we make sure our people suffering from all these issues are addressed. Unfortunately, some of our brothers have decided to advance local agenda over national agenda. And that's why we have crisis.
Thank you, General Lual, and the audience and those who are listening. Before I hand it over to my brother Madid, I have a last question and then we go from there. All this time, you guys have an army, as we all know, and a lot of generals and the leaders among them. So where do you guys get your funding or financial? Because you guys are not in South Sudan, according to what I can understand. So you are in different places. And how are you guys funding all these military forces and yourself as leaders financially?
No, when it comes to SSUF or SOMA leadership, all of us, okay. First of all, in SOMA, we have a movement called Real SPLM, okay. These are some of them were actually generals, but they decided to go for a non-violent approach. They don't have soldiers. NAS or SSNDA, okay, they have their soldiers back in South Sudan. SSUF have soldiers back in South Sudan. Not all of us are outside of the country. There are SSUF soldiers are in Bahr Ghazal, they are in Equatoria, they are in Upper Nile. And the rebellion, by the way, they get guns, all the military equipment, everything they actually get it from the government. Because even that government, not everyone is for that government. There are some people in Juba who are just there to take care of their kids. But if they find something to support rebellion somewhere, they are part of people who support rebellion. Okay? So, my brother, let me tell you that when it comes to funding, we get our funding from the government itself. Because our people, our soldiers will fight with the government. Our soldiers, some of them actually were soldiers within the army as PLA. And when they rebel, they take with them their guns and full movement. Okay, so that is what the few things that I will tell you. For as far as how to continue to sustain ourselves and achieve what we need to achieve, now we are even in better situation. You know, when our people fought the war of Anyanyawan, and even when they fought the war of the SPLA, they start with nothing, and they continue to fight and fought until we have independence. Thank you.
Thank you, General Lual. Welcome back, Isaac. You know, we are about to wrap up for the question before we open the floor to the audience who are watching. So this question is going to you, General Lual Pacific. You have been accused that while you are members of SSOMA, so you have been accused that you are working with the government, with the national security. So can you tell us, is it true that you are working with national security?
They said you have a link, you have a connection with
Yeah, because they said that you are a spy. You said that they said that you are a spy in SSOMA. So this is one of the reasons why some of the members of SSOMA are scared and they break away from the group.
No.
Another SSOMA. So because is it true?
This is, you know, Madud and Isaac, when you are in opposition to the government, what I want to tell you that, you know, the government in Juba, there are people in social media who call it Denga government, right? That's how they call it. So when you are a Dinka in opposition, my friend, you face a lot of challenges. And I will write about this. Experience of being a Dinka in opposition. Okay. For example, when we were in Sudan, if you are a South Sudanese and you are anytime you are working with Arab, they always accuse you of fit column, right?
Yeah.
And in South Sudanese to them is always Tabur al-Khamis. This is the same thing. Some of people who are accusing me, they think what they have in Juba is a Denga government. So my right place, where I actually belong, simply because of Kolkor is a Dinka, and Kir is a Dinka, and the rest are Dinka. So why am I fighting? So myself and a Kolkor and all these are one. Okay? And they are always suspicious. They are always suspicious of a Dinka that will actually oppose the government. That's why they are calling us names. But it is baseless. Okay? Because in order to be working and to spy, okay? Even SSOMA, by the way, what do we do in SSOMA that need a spy? We have meetings, SSOMA meetings, where people meet through phone conference. Okay? What do you spy on someone that you are meeting on the phone? Number two, we only discuss and interact, and even the issue that we need the government to hear, we always say them everywhere. Okay? What is it? What is the secret that I am accused of spying against who and for what? This is just someone who wants to divert us from the real issues. Okay, and we've been discussing this for 7 months. After we failed to solve the problem within SOMA, we start accusing ourselves. Okay, now, Madid, I can accuse Emmanuel. I can call him names. I can attack him. It's not hard for me to do. But what do I gain from it? Nothing. And I don't think we form SOMA so that we accuse ourselves. Okay? What is there is that simply because they know being there as a Dinka, people are all suspicious of you. Okay? That is what happened and nothing more. Okay? Yes, I was a senior government official. Yes, I know some of these most government officials. But do you think you can be a deputy governor and a minister and leave all these jobs, high-profile jobs, and resign so that you come to spy for the civil servants? For example, Emmanuel, when we were in government together, he is a civil servant working for our mission here in New York. If it comes to the government protocol, where I sit and where I work and what I discuss is far away from him. You think you will leave that job and resign from that high-profile government job to come and spy for a civil servant? Seriously? That's why I laugh. It's a joke. It's a laughing matter. It's baseless. Okay? What is the true issue is that we in SOMA, we have 5 reasons why we have different. And as long as these 5 reasons are not solved, we in the SSUF or real SPLM, we will never sign that charter. Okay? So that is what I really want to answer to you about this.
Yeah, thank you.
And I don't want, with respect to the Lake State media, with respect to my family, with respect to where I come from, I will not accuse anybody. Okay, I will not accuse anybody. Not because it is hard. It is not hard, by the way, to accuse someone or even say bad word about people. But my brother, the country is bleeding. We have issues. Our people are suffering. These are the issues we should focus on and forget about names.
Correct. Thank you very much. You have been exhausted, Brother Lual, with a lot of questions, and you answered them satisfactorily. While I was driving, I was listening on my way going to school and coming back. I have been listening. You answered some very good questions. There's something that you have mentioned now, that being a Dinka in opposition is a big problem. And we know ethnicity has a hand in the cause of the problem, core of the problem in South Sudan. Now, can you tell us why the Dinka are being singled out in opposition?
Well, my friend, let me be frank here. Dinka as a tribe, is not new to Sudan, leave alone South Sudan.
Correct.
And we have great sons and daughters who happen to be from Dinka tribe, who led in Sudan. And they led country with respect and great leadership. For example, you have Honorable Abel Alier was
Yep.
happened to be from Denka,
Yes.
and he has achieved so much. If you go to Juba, there,
Mm.
everything that people are sitting on it, whether houses or the government position, were done and built by Abel Alier. And he happened to be a Denka. So when a Dinka man does something nice, nobody celebrates about it. Now, in the war of liberation, we have seen the leadership of the late Dr. John Lemabe, who led the SPLM through difficult situations. During that time when we were fighting the war, do you know people were even calling SPLM as a Dinka movement? You know this. You guys are not young, you know this, you heard this. But SPLM was not a Dinka movement, it was Sudan's People Liberation Movement that was fighting for the cause of the people of Sudan, people on South Sudan. Dr. John, who also happened to be from Dinka tribe, led the country honorably. The current leader, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, when I talk about him, I have a mixed feeling. What do I say? In one hand, the man has dedicated his life to liberate and fight for the independence of South Sudan. Salva Kiir did everything on his power to make sure that we are free. And indeed, he rose on the flag in July 2011. But at the same time, Salva Kiir did not lead the country in the way that we were expecting him to lead the country. He allowed some people to loot money. He allowed some people to mess up the country. And that's why he's accountable for it. But these people who are accusing Dinka, because Salva Kiir is the president, but Salva Kiir is working with who? He's working with those of Lomoro. Is Lomoro a Dinka? He's working with those of James Waniga. Is Waniga a Dinka? He's working with Taban Riagai. Taban Deng. Is he a Dinka? He's working with Chutka, with the Ibar Yang Maja now. Are all these Dinkas? No. They are all from all walks of South Sudan. But there are these people with a hiding agenda. They want to use Dinka to mobilize their base. At the same time, there are things that we, as Dinka, okay, we did wrong. And we have to be courageous enough to admit them so that in the end, we have a unity as people of South Sudan. For example, when I went to Juba, in 2008, I applied for a plot, okay, because I want to build myself a small house. I went to the Ministry of Physical Infrastructure in Central Equatoria, in Juba, and I said, I need land. You know, from 2008 up to now, my application nobody replied to it, whether it's denied or accepted. So this is not only me, it is happening to a lot of other for a lot of other people from other regions. So what do they do? Some of our Dinka brothers, they decided to take law into their own hand. They went to some areas in Juba and they started dividing the area to themselves. And anybody who need land, they divided to Dinka, they divided to Nuer, to other tribes in Juba. Okay? Now, when these people see those people dividing the land, they will come and talk about land and the Dinka are grabbing the land. You see what happened? Now, take for example, If Thomas Shirulu become a president of South Sudan, okay, and his country and the people from Equatoria go to Rumbek and decided to distribute the land, Rumbek Freedom Square, for example. You think these people will survive in Rumbek?
No.
Someone from Equatoria will go to Rumbek and distribute the land. You think they will live to see tomorrow? No. Those behavior by our own brothers are the reason that opposition, some of people in opposition using to accuse every Denga as a bad person. But both of them are wrong. The one who are doing those behavior in Juba and those who are generalizing Denga, both of them are wrong. The person who is right is that, okay, we are all South Sudanese. Whether you are a Dinka, you are Nuer, you are Murle, you are Zanti, you are Latuka, you are Shulu, you are whatever, you are all people of South Sudan. And this is what we need as people. Because if we continue to divide ourselves, nobody will be able in South Sudan to wipe out Denga. I don't care whatever you have. You will never do that. Okay? That's why we told our brothers in SSOMA, let's avoid this language of dividing people along tribal line and talk about the issue of the unity and reconciliation and condemn mistakes. If mistake is done, whether it's done by Denga or it's done by any tribe, it's not acceptable. But mistakes are not done by tribe, are done by individuals within a certain tribe. Okay? And this is what people get mixed. They went and accused Dinka in general. So, in order, and I know a lot of Dinka, when they hear Dinka is attacked, they don't like it. But also they need to understand why these people are doing it, because there are some truth into some of behavior of some of our brothers who are doing towards certain tribe in South Sudan. And to be honest, we are all one people. When the Jalaba was killing us, it does not differentiate between Dinga and Nuer, or between Dinga and Zande, or between Dinga and Murle. The Jalaba killed all of us as people of South Sudan. The only time people of South Sudan came together, united and unified, it was 2011, when we all came and voted for independence. So every time we come together as people, we do amazing things. We move mountains. But anytime we divide ourselves along tribal lines, nobody will succeed on this. For the history and for the Lagos State media, let me make it very clear that what will help us as people of South Sudan, and I'm talking here as a South Sudanese now, it is for us to see ourselves as South Sudanese first and nothing else. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate your elaboration on that question. And my last question for you is, what is your current political blueprint for the people of the Republic of South Sudan? The political blueprint.
Yes, I got it, yes. We have a wonderful document that we have developed within SSOMA, which we call Declaration of Principle. Through that, we have a clear details of what we felt is needed to be addressed in our country. That document is for the purpose of negotiation, and very soon, when we were in Rome, we talked about it with the government. We were there, but we did not initiate it because there is differences within SSOMA. Some of our brothers were in different rooms. Those of SSNDA talking with the government, and also real SPLM and SSUF were together in the same hotel talking with the government. But we told the government, you know what? Whatever happening in Soma is a temporary crisis. It will come to an end. Very soon, General Thomas Cirillo will come back to Thomas Cirillo that we know. And it will leave those radicals alone. And he will come back and join his brothers, Paul Malong and Pagana Amon. So there is a form Soma. At that point, we will present to you guys the draft declaration of principle that is based on how we can reform institutions and move our country to a new direction. We don't care about positions. We only care about what are the real issues need to be addressed. So our brothers, on the other hand, they rashly went and copy and paste. You know, South Sudanese, they don't take time to develop documents. They just go copy, paste. And this is a crime, by the way.
Yeah, plagiarism.
Plagiarism. Some of people who go to social media every day talking that they are the most smart lawyers, they are the highly educated, they are people who know the vision and they are most patriotic, and they are the people who are really can change South Sudan. When they were asked to present to the government delegation what is their declaration of principle, they copy and paste the entire revitalized peace agreement and they give it to the government. And they went and copy and paste from 2005 issue of land, put it there. And they said this is the document declaration of principle. When those of Molana Nyal and people with experience, of course, being in negotiation and all this, so this document, they were just laughing. They say, what is this? This is the same markers that we left in Juba. Why are you presenting this? Is this what is SOMA all about? Okay. And you probably have seen what Dr. Lamako wrote about this. Lamako said, is this what SOMA is all about? Okay. But Isaac, let me tell you, SOMA has a vision, a clear blueprint, like you mentioned, has a clear declaration of principle. We even have solution for what we are proposing. And we are going to discuss this with the government delegation in the next round. Whatever was presented and was called SOMA position is nothing but a copy and paste that was done by people who were, because when there is differences, even like state media, if you guys now have differences, this nice program will be completely different. Okay? Because when brothers are divided, things don't go well. Some of these people, they are push away the great leaders who, on his right mind, will decide to push away General Pagan. Pagan is the leader who negotiated the comprehensive peace agreement with Sudan government. And you are going to negotiation and you say you don't want Pagan? Are you serious? And even you are calling Pagan names, that is nobody? Seriously? Who doesn't want General Malone when it comes to the issue to do with the leadership and the country and security sector reform and all these issues within the governance? These are the people you need to listen to them for advice. You leave them, you throw them away, and you try to talk to the government and you just copy and paste things that you don't even know what you are presenting, and you are embarrassing us. Let me make it very clear here. Whoever did that plagiarism, before we come together and we will launch a very serious investigation, and that person will pay severely. Because these are the issues that we should not allow in South Sudan. Why do you plagiarize things and claim to be the smartest person on earth? when you plagiarize documents like that. And they are even plagiarizing something that they themselves said they don't want to sign in Khartoum. They said it's not a good agreement. Now you go and plagiarize the same thing and copy and paste it. And you said it was not good. Now you want to even copy and paste. What are we doing here, seriously? Okay. My brothers, our country in a big crisis. People are so much confused. And that's why this country needs serious prayers.
All right.
Serious reconciliation and a new vision.
Yeah.
That we have here in SSOMA that eventually will change the situation and into a right direction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, General Lual. I will give the floor now to Abraham to wrap up. I think we have exhausted you. If there are some few questions on written by our audience, okay, we can bring them up, pull them up later, but I'll give it to you back, Abraham. Take over.
Thank you. Thank you, Isaac, and thank you, General Lual. That was a good, I have two questions. One question, it will be your party SSOMA. I mean, South Sudan United Front. The first question I want to ask is still for SSOMA. As you guys are now not getting along each other, so what is my question is here is, so if you guys are reconcile each other, because now government, what I see now, government is so confused. Who government would meet with who? So, so when you guys formed the SSOMA, you guys said that, okay, the reason why we need to, the reason, the main topic or the main agenda that you guys formed the SSOMA is because you guys need to address, and this is what you guys tell the government in 2018, Rome Declaration, that the root cause of conflicts in South Sudan need to be addressed first before you guys sign any document, any peace agreement with the government, or anything you guys can go back to Juba. So this question I had with those leaders of SSOMA. Can you, as a lot members of SSOMA, can you tell us? Can you tell all South Sudanese what is the root cause of conflicts in South Sudan?
Well, root causes are many. Okay, but for just I will give you some, because since you asked, I will give you some, so that you are more enlightened. Okay, but this root cause that we have developed as a document, okay, is meant for negotiation. And when you go to negotiation and you expose everything, and I list them to you, I can list them now. But what will happen? The government will come ready with the answer, okay, and will be in a weaker side. That's why, if you allow me, okay, after we go to Rome and present the document to the government with all the root cause, I will call you even from Rome and say, Madrid, and Isaac set up interview for me, so I share with the audience all the root cause. By that, it will be a public document.
Okay, you know the reason why I love Lual? The same answer. That's what I get from SSOMA. From SSOMA, they don't answer it. You guys cannot answer this simple question, the root cause, because the reason why I say this, you guys cannot answer this, the root cause, is because you guys are part of the root cause. So this is the simple, and this is why I want, because I don't know why it's so hard for the SSOMA leadership. Don't want to answer this simple question. Okay, I will let it be until you guys sign the peace agreement with the government. So my next question is
no, you are right. You are right. You are right. You are right, Madit. When we sit with the government later, even government will tell the same thing, that whatever happened in the country, you guys are part of it. Okay.
Right.
Yes, I will not. That's why in the beginning of the program, I apologize.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Why did I apologize? Because you cannot walk today with Kir and you go around and try to be an angel, try to be the cleanest person, and Kir is a bad person. Who will believe you? Okay? Nobody will believe you. People has to be honest, and the honesty is everything. The problem we have now, really, is not that we are not, because we were leader in the government. Okay? General Paul Malone was the chief of staff, was the governor, was you know him. Pagana Mom, the same thing. Thomas Cirillo was. I was, and all this. So if I come here and tell your audience, you know what? All the problem was Kir, but we are good people, you will laugh to me. You will think I'm joking. Okay? But what happened, my brother, we saw that there is something wrong in the country. And we become a new born again leaders. We said we are doing something wrong, and we need to change into a new direction. But our brothers in Juba, they think everything is still good. They want to continue the same road. This is the different now. So South Sudanese should accept us and join us so that we get rid and change the system that is going wrong. Not even individuals. And for example, if I told you, if you want to develop a country, there must be 3 clear institutions of the 3 branches of the government that are working side by side. In South Sudan today, there is one man who is more powerful, that is using Article 101 to dismiss everybody, to appoint everybody, to do whatever he's doing. That's why if you look in all these countries, do you see all these degrees in social media, on TV? You don't see them. Okay? If we were to be honest later on, this will be one of the problems that we're facing in the country. Because, yes, the president is the head of the country, but he cannot have the power to do everything. Even the constitution, by the way, the constitution of South Sudan that we have is one of the good constitutions. I read it myself. But you know what is bad with it? Is this Article 101. Because this Article 101 has given so much powers to one person that can ruin everything. Even the agreement that was signed, you know why it's not functioning? Because also there is one person with the same powers. So, my friend, we in the SOMA were the one who said there is a need for a country to address the root cause of the conflict. That means we know them, because there is no way you can propose an agenda that you don't know. Okay? But the reason we are not saying them in the social media is that because in government, there are things that you keep privately and there are things that you say publicly. And this document, Declaration of Principle, we will list out our root cause, what we think need to be addressed. The government also will negotiate with us. It could take time, and in the end, we will develop a joint declaration of principle between SOMA and the government of South Sudan, and that will go public to the people of South Sudan. And that's where I told you that I will be coming and happy to answer you. In fact, I answered all the questions except this one.
Yeah, yes, thank you. My last question, which is we can turn to the audience and see what their question they have for you, is let me turn back to your party, SSUF. So, as we see a few weeks ago, we see fallout. The same thing happened in SSOMA now is happening in SSUF. So your former spokesperson, Emmanuel Dejon, who was fired in SSUF, and the allegation that they say, the same allegation that members of SSOMA accusing you guys is same accusation that you guys accused Emmanuel Sandy John that he leaked information to the government. So now SSOMA is divided into two. Emmanuel Sandy John is claiming himself to be a stream chairman of SSUF, and General Malone as a chairman. So now we have two SSUF. Same thing, we have SSOMA too. So can you tell us what's going on between within the crisis within SSUF, and how can you guys solve this crisis? So you guys can solve it and settle this and reconcile. There's a window of that. So I will yield this part to you. Thank you.
Let me also take this opportunity. First of all, there are two things I want to say about this. This will not be a long topic. The reason is not because the topic is not important. It is important. But it is exhausted, because I know you have interviewed Dr. Sandy Jones several times, and you have also interviewed Honorable Nabat, the new spokesperson of SSUF, and he was exhausted. So that's why I said I will not bore your audience about repeating the same things again. But what I want to say is this. One, you remember when General Paul Malong left Juba, when he was relieved, he decided to go home, to go to a will. And you know very well, in order to go to a will, you have to pass through lakes if you are coming from Juba. When Malong arrived Yurul in Lake State, people of Lake stood on the road and they said, Malong, you cannot leave Lake State. You are our son. If you are here, you don't go anywhere. Sit here with us. If there is someone who wants to kill you or who wants to fight you, he will kill us first. Malong was welcomed by the governor. Then Lake State leaders, those of late Andrew Makuto, those of Honorable Maulana Talaring, and many other leaders went to Lake. And they talked to Malong until Malong was brought back. You know, that alone have created a very strong relationship between General Malong and people of Lake State. So General Malong loves the people of Lake State to maximum. And anybody from Lakes to General Malong is a favorite. That's why, by the way, in SSUF, if you go to our leadership, the top position after General Malong are held by none other than people from Lake State. For example, Honorable David Nong Marial Bot was the first Secretary General of SSUF. Okay. When he left, Malong again reappointed someone from Lake State because he loved people of Lake State so much. Sandy Dijon, Dr. Sandy Dijon, by the way, is an asset to the people of South Sudan because I've worked with him closely for years. He is an asset to Bahar Ghazal, is an asset to Lake State, is an asset to South Sudan. And he's a young man. There is a lot ahead of him. There is so many things that he could do in South Sudan. But what I want to say today about this Dr. Sunday Dijon issues is that this issue has been exhausted significantly. But when Dr. Sunday Dijon was suspended in SSUF, he himself was a part of people who have developed these laws and regulations. And in that laws, there is a suspension. Suspension does not mean he is fired from the organization. I hope Sunday Dijon waited for investigation. Because myself, I come from the school of thought that you believe, any person is accused until is proven. Okay? If they say Madid did something, I cannot just conclude Madid did it. So what should happen? Sunday should have accepted and waited. After suspension, he received the letter of suspension, he waited, and then they were going to form investigation committee to go talk to him. In that, he will present himself whether there is evidence or no evidence. And the committee would have report back to the leadership of SSUF that Sunday Dijon indeed has committed a mistake, or Sunday Dijon indeed is innocent. Right? That's how it works. And instead, our brother, Dr. Sunday Dijon, decided to sit with some people that and they call themselves as a leadership of SSUF, and they have overthrown General Malong. This is not going to help anything, because overthrowing General Malong is not the first time. This thing was attempted first by our brother Ajang, who went to Juba. Okay, he said he has taken over for SSUF. What did Sunday Dijon said, our spokesperson? He dismissed it. He think that's why he continued to be spokesperson, because if it was easy that someone can overthrow a leader, then there will be no need for Dr. Sunday to be a spokesperson. And there's no need for me to be an external affairs, because we were overthrown first time by Ajang. And then this thing went and died off. Then another attempt was made by Garanga Church. Another guy, I remember in Khartoum, he said, and they said they suspended Malong. Was also another joke. Sunday Dijon went to the media and dismissed it. And then third time, it was another person in Khartoum also called William Ezekiel. He said he suspended the chairman. It was another joke. The same Dr. Sunday Dijon went and dismissed the person as nonsense and baseless. There's nothing there. And then Honorable David Nock, that I mentioned earlier, went and said he suspended Malong. Again, the same thing. Sunday Dijon, as our spokesperson, said, this is not true. Chairman Paul Malonga continued to be the chairman of SSUF, and that's why he's a spokesperson. Now, let me ask you, Madid and Isaac. If poor people have decided to suspend the leader, and the same person has defended Malong, and then the same person will come and take over from Malong. He did exactly the same thing that was done by 4 previous. Okay? What made him believe that what he did will be accepted now that it is legitimate? And the other 4 that were attempted were not true. So Let me take this opportunity through Lagos State Media to call upon Dr. Sunday Dijon and tell you are a young man with a great future. You are actually a medical doctor. He's a professional that I'm sure smart doctor who can help South Sudan in a greater way, in a different way. But this issue of saying that I have taken over from Paul Malone and I'm a leader of staff, the same thing that he told the other people, he needs to tell himself. It's not going to be an end because people quarrel, people different. Okay? Leadership of SSUF, like you put it, will always listen and discuss and think about things in a different way. Even after Dr. Sunday Dijon left, yes, we will not be able to ask him questions now, but also we continue doing investigation on other ways. If we find new information that are helpful, we will share it, with you guys later on. But in short, let me appeal to Dr. Sunday to really slow down on what he's doing and focus on his medical career, because yes, he could be suspended, but he has the skills. Nobody takes your skill away from you. Let me share with you what American special envoy told me in Rome. The U.S. special envoy met me, and my professional, by the way, I have master's degree in agriculture from Iowa State University. So when I met him, he told me, Lual, South Sudan is a great country. He said, recently, the head of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, went to Juba and took some soil sample, and brought it to the soil lab here in the United States to test it. He said what we saw with that soil, there is no soil with that nutrients and all within the soil that's similar to what we saw in South Sudan. You guys have the best soil. In fact, he told me you will be more helpful to your people. That's what he told me. As someone who started agriculture, you need to go to Americans, mobilize agriculture as equipment, and make sure you go back to South Sudan and help in food security. That's what the American special envoy told me. Because he told me with my experience as agriculturist, I can help in the area of food security. So maybe very soon, let me appeal to my brother, Sandy John. You are a medical doctor, please. This is where our people need you. And let me just finish this meeting in Rome with SSOMA, and I will be joining you guys there so that we address the issue of food security. As I'm not even interested in government position as someone, but I need to work with American so that we make sure our people have something to eat. Because food, that's what
my question, part of my question you didn't answer, and I want to follow up. How can you guys, because these issues between your party, how can you reconcile? If there is a window that you guys can sit down, can you guys make peace with each other?
No, honestly, to be honest, like I told you in my introduction, I told you Sunday Dijon is an asset. Okay? And
yes, you said
it's an asset.
It's not asset.
And the person who introduced Dr. Sunday Dijon to the international community, it is SSUF. Okay? It is someone that we work very hard to build him to where he is now. At the same time, Dr. Sunday Dijon worked very hard to advance the cause of SSUF. Okay? Which means you cannot develop a person and you come to destroy the same person. That's not our intention. So the first beginning, this is what I said earlier. If we stop this attack that is happening, okay, because any reconciliation that you were talking about, start first with the cessation of hostilities. Okay, we in SSUF, as far as I remember, nobody's attacking him. Even as I talk with you guys, did I mention anything about the Torzante John? No, right? I did not. I want him to do the same. Cessation of hostility. Let him start with the cessation of hostility. Okay, and then what you were asking about, it is something that we will consider because, after all, we are opposition to the government. We need people. Okay, this is not a government we are in; it is an opposition. So who in opposition doesn't need people? You need Sandy Dijon. We need you, Madit. If you can join us, will be good. We need Isaac. We need Agar. We need everybody to join us in SSUF. So why we push out people? So there is a room always for all of us in that organization and even in SOMA. Okay.
So when we brought Sandy John in the show, and you mentioned something about in SOMA that there is the reason why there's a crisis for one of the root cause of you mentioned 5 things that one of the root cause of SOMA is still up, and then one of the root causes is about tribalism because of Dinka are seen as a government supporters, as a government agents, and same they are accusing you are a national security spy because you are from Dinka. And the same thing allegation Sandy John mentioned in the show here and said the reason why he was kicked out from SSUF is because he's not a part of Northern Pakistan. So because he's not from there, that's why that's why you guys let him go. If that is true or not? If not, why? If yes, explain me.
I honestly told you at the beginning that I will not spend time on these Sunday issues. Not because it's not important, but you guys exhausted a lot. But just in respect to the show and your audience, okay? If you look at SSUF, the list I gave you, Ajang, okay, who said before, who made the same statement that was made by Sunday, that he overthrew the chairman? He's from Awil. Okay? From Northern Bargazal. Garang Ajay, who also claimed that he has overthrown General Malong, is from Northern Bargazal. Sandy Dijon is also from Bargazal. He's just from Lake State, just next door. Okay? Now, if Sandy Dijon was targeted because he's from Lakes, then what about the other 2 people from Northern Bargazal? Why they were targeted? Why they left then? What would be the answer to that? If you have 2 people from Northern Bargazal who left, just those people that I met, people who claim to be leaders of SSUF who left. I'm not talking about other sons and an opposition movement like SSUF that big. People will come and go, but the movement will be there. And this is not something new. Okay? Even SPLA, you have seen people who went and gone from the movement. And sometimes the same people who left, they will come back. Don't be surprised tomorrow Sunday Dijon will come back to SSUF. Maybe even tomorrow you will see Lual Dau is not part of SSUF. This is normal on the process. Okay? So, Malone, as I told you in my introduction, if there are people Malone loves and respect in South Sudan, Lake State is leading by the history that I told you. Okay? Sandy Dijon was the special person to General Paul Malone. Because when Senator John was there, he was doing everything for all of us, speaking on behalf of SSUF, going to Rome, going to where, all this, he was respected as a leader for SSUF. So, to me, you know, when we are dividing ourselves, now the country is confused. They are dividing themselves along tribal line. Now people want to take it from tribe to section within Dinka, because Lagos State and people of Wool are what? Are the same Dinka, right? But now people are went as far as section now. And very soon, people will go ahead and even divide themselves within Lagos State. These are the things that I've said in my introduction, that we have formed SOMA to make sure that we work together as people of South Sudan, irregardless of tribe, irregardless of religion, irregardless of gender, irregardless of anything. We are one and only one. Thank you very much, Madam. And Isaac,
Thank you. Thank you, General Lual. I will yield back floor to Isaac and Gar. So I think we will also the question we have. Thank you for being patient. And before I yield back, let me make this one clear to our audience who are watching. The reason why I asked General Lual about these questions, a lot of questions, because there's some follow-up. And the reason why I have no any reason behind. My attention is we need peace regardless. South Sudan within SOMA, within honorable opposition. So we need peace. South Sudanese people, they need peace. And that's what my aim here. So my aim is our people need to, even though they are disagreeing each other, let them come to the common ground and make peace. And that's what we are doing, because if there is a breakup between SSUF and breakup between SOMA, so the question is how you guys, opposition, will be negotiated with the government. Because government can say that, okay, who am I going to discuss the issues, because you guys are not together, you are not in one team. So this is the reason why I say I know that some of the supporters are here. So this is what I want to make clear, let our people know, because I have no any intention. My intention is our people need peace. So we need our people so suffering so much. And if and this is why I want we did this kind of show to bring our leaders into the show. Let us have a dialogue, talk to them, let them talk, and let also the people hear them. And this is where the agreement and disagree, we can disagree and agree, but at the end of the day, we are South Sudanese, and we need people that to come together. And that's what we want. We need peace. So thank you so much. I will yield the floor back to Isaac and Agar.
Thank you so much, Abraham. I think we have exhausted the questions that we were having to ask General with, and he has answered them. And our audience as well, if they were ready with some questions written, we should have displayed them, but it seemed no question. And the reason also we didn't pin down the link for those who have been requesting the link. It's a policy, a new policy that we, the hosts, we will exhaust the question. We will be asking the question one-on-one with our guest speaker. And for your time, it is now when we finish our questioning. This is where you can write your question, just a small paragraph, not too long, and then we can pull it up here in the screen and will be read out, and you get the answer. So that is the reason we didn't pin down the link. This is a special interview, it's separate. So that is the policy. Otherwise, I say thank you so much, General Lual Dau. Appreciate your time with us for 4 hours. I mean, almost 3 hours now, sitting. It's a heat. And we appreciate also our audience, those who are still awake now in the almost morning hours in other places, other people, they didn't sleep. They were just listening to your interview, because everybody is happy to listen from both sides and to know exactly what is happening. The title was so good. We need to know exactly the crisis within SOMA. We are confused. There is SOMA 1, SOMA 2, and what is sub 1, sub 2. You answered all these things, so will be up to the public to judge according to what they heard from you and what they heard from other breakaway wings. So the public will judge from there. So thank you so much. There is a question here from Damarin Gosh Makur. It's another equation. He put down a question here. Sub A plus SOMA equals Rome crisis. And this is one of the led the split in Rome.
No, yeah, he's what we need to work on it in social media program. Try to do it in 1 hour, because normally what happened, you will explain things, another person will join the show later, and then they start writing things, because and then when you try to answer it, okay, you look as if you are repeating yourself. SOMA, and this is the equation that we have, is that SOMA, there is nothing called SOMA. SOMA is, and I hope Madid or Isaac can show where the signature is, okay? If you have it somewhere, there are 3 leaders, okay? There are 3 leaders, and this is very important. SSUFA under Paul Malone, plus Real SPLM under General Bagana Mom, plus SSNDA under General Thomas Trillo. That equals SOMA. Okay? This is the equation. This is the right equation that I want anybody to take away here. Okay? But there is nothing called SSUF and SOMA. We are the same. Okay? And there's not even 2 SOMA. There's 1 SOMA. It's just our brother left. Okay? And he will come back. So I will continue to just answer some of the questions if they come up here. But later on, before you close the show, I hope you will give me the last message. That there is a message that I want to send. But if there is more question, I will be happy.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, you will give. We will give you a last word when we end the show. There's a question coming up from Charles Bob. So, can you read that question from him?
Yeah, Charles Bach, Bang Chol Wall say that, hi, Brother Madid, I want General Lual Dau to clear himself from allegation that was said by Emmanuel Ajawin that General Paul told them to pay more attention on General Lual Dau on the meeting. Did General Paul Malone talk behind you? That is the question.
Yeah, actually, you know, this question I already answered it earlier.
Yeah,
remember,
done,
yeah. And I think Brother Charles Barkshall, if you get chance later, go back to the video.
You will watch the video.
And you will find the answer. Okay. And what I want to tell you though, or just because there are people who may have just come, okay. Emmanuel Ajawin, I've just met Paul Malone in Rome, okay. But I have worked with General Paul Malone for many years. I was his Minister of Agriculture. I was also, he was the one that we established SSUF together. Okay. There is nowhere. Okay, he will go and talk to Emmanuel about me and not face me, then it's not Malone. Okay? Because when we have differences with people, he will discuss them within SSUF. He doesn't call other people. So SSUF, we have channels. Okay? And I mentioned earlier that this issue of accusation is go back to the difficulties of being a Dinka within the opposition. I don't want to waste time on this. So my brother Charles, thank you for the question, but please go back to the video. You will get your answer. Otherwise, also
Okay.
you know my number. You know my. We are friends in Facebook. We can discuss this more. You know.
Yeah, another question is coming from another Charles. Charles Yufun, I know that you have to be patient, my friend, because the next comment you just read is not good to write it. Just be patient. So, Charles.
So you are asking only Dinka tribe question, okay?
So bring this question up. Bring this question up. I just put. You just wrote that while I put this question on the screen.
I will bring it.
Did you see that question come from Charlie's phone? Oh, that's the second question. The first question is he was asking you about why did Imaro Jawin call General Malong Awan and General Pagana as a Judas Iscariot. So we talk about Judas Iscariot in the Bible. So of SOMA leadership council and nation. So can you answer that?
Yeah, that is a good question. In fact, I would like to talk about what, because it's not about me. If it was about me, I would not even answer it. But what I want to say to the Lake State medias and your audience, you know, General Paul Malone, if you have no respect for him, you should at least respect him as someone who fought for the liberation of South Sudan. The man who was shot 11 times trying to defend and free the people of South Sudan. Okay. General Bagana Mum was someone who also dedicated his entire life for the cause of the people of South Sudan. He fought the war of liberation, he was shot, and he made sure that we have an independent leadership. If people are not confused, is Emmanuel Ajawin capable of calling General Bagana Mom and Malong as Judas? These leaders who have given so much to the people of South Sudan, these leaders who have never betrayed the cause of the people of South Sudan for 40 years now, you think they will come and betray Emmanuel Ajawin? On what basis? This is a laughing matter, brothers. Emmanuel Ajawin is not in a right position to call these gentlemen as Judas. If it was not a respect for Lake State media and a respect to my family, I would have called Emmanuel Ajawin with 7 different names. But you know what? We are leaders. We have more things to focus on. But please know that this is not what's going to help us. Another. We did not form SSOMA so that we call ourselves Judas. Okay? This is someone who is just, you know what happened in South Sudan? Huh? When there's so much conflict and confusion, the problem sometimes can get into your mind and become a personal problem. And you become emotional. What I want to advise South Sudanese who are watching and you guys in the media, do not try to mix emotion with politics. Because when you mix the two, your emotion and politics, that's why people start calling names and calling people names. Even people that have given so much to the country, now people are calling them names. Okay, so this is a big joke. There is now Emmanuel Ajawin has no power to kick anybody out. Again, let me remind you guys what happened. SSND
Okay.
let me once again appeal to His Excellency the Ambassador. And even I'm surprised, by the way, in South Sudan, these behaviors cannot come from someone who is an ambassador. Okay, this is behavior of calling people names. I expect them to come from the streets, not from an ambassador of South Sudan. And I wonder why South Sudan relationship with the UN and the international community are completely destroyed. It is because South Sudan is deploying wrong ambassador to wrong places. Because if an ambassador of South Sudan can behave like this, calling his own brother and his own leader as Judas, I wonder how this person behave in international arena with other diplomats. I cannot believe my country reached to the level that even an ambassador can talk like this. Let me call and take this opportunity to appeal to His Excellency Ambassador Emmanuel Ajawin and remind him, my brother, you are an ambassador. Can you at least behave as an ambassador? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lual, General Lual. We have another question coming from Isaac. Go ahead.
Okay, Malia Makur is asking a question. This peace negotiations has taken so long, and our people are suffering back home. How much more time are we expecting, and what's the plan A, B, etc. if these peace talks fail?
Malia Makur, thank you very much for the question. And I can tell from your question, you are someone who cares about the suffering of our people. I feel you, and I feel South Sudanese who are really hurt in this situation. What I want to tell you that if we reach the peace agreement tomorrow with the government, a just and acceptable peace, we will be the first people to sign it. So we only have one plan. We don't have plan A or plan B. Either there is a comprehensive peace agreement where we, the leader of South Sudan, commit ourselves to make sure that we take care of our people, our widows, our children, develop school, build roads, hospitals, clean water, have a government that run by institutions. Okay, if we don't have such a peace agreement, if we don't reach that peace agreement with the government, we will continue to fight as long as it takes, so that the country is finally united under clear principle. And I also want to appeal to South Sudanese. You don't rely only on SSOMA to solve all these problems. If there is someone who has a quick solution there for our problem, you guys are welcome to present those solutions and solve them. So, my sister, our hope that we will reach peace very soon. But if the government wants to accommodate us in Rome with positions, okay, and then go back home to just go and sit, we will not sign that agreement. And that will take us as long as it takes, so that we are finally free as people of South Sudan. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I think we have come to an end of the question to be brought up again. What we will do, I will give you a floor. Why should people join your movement, Comrade Lual Dau? I think he has talked about this already. Who is bringing up? Inaga? Yeah. There are some questions here already answered. Is somebody who came late and is asking again the question that has been elaborated or is covered during the explanation long time ago. So we just leave those.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Yep.
But it's an important question because someone wants to ask why you should join. This is a person that I will give I will do two things. One, the person who asked, luckily is a friend of mine in Facebook. I will call him, and I will even visit his house so that I can 2 days to tell him why he should join me. But in summary, please join us in SSUF or in SOMA, because through that we can bring, unify a just and a prosperous South Sudan, where we respect ourselves, where we have institutions, where we have a unified and organized army, and where we have a strong economy, and many other reasons. So the person who asked is someone that I've known him. We work together in the SPLM, and I just want to tell him that our vision is a good vision, and you should join us. There are so many reasons, and I will call you actually. So after the show, expect my phone call.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, we're coming to conclusion. You have to give your last word to the audience, and then we will wind up from there.
I just need to put in just an advice to our brother and General Lual Dau and all the members of SOMA and the rest. It's just that people are worried about all this situation, whether in the government or opposition, so that you guys can be caring about our people, and also you need to be united together so that people can understand what are you guys doing, whether you are on opposition side or the government side. So people are really confused about opposition and the government. And according to my observation, I can say that as a citizen of South Sudan, nobody cares. Nobody cares about the citizen. That's why everywhere there's a mess. In the government, there's a mess. In the opposition, there's a lot of mess. So I advise all of you guys to handle it so that we can get back and develop our country and take care of our civilians. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Charles, you've been sending in this question. That another third question to Lual Dau. Can you withdraw your false accusation that SOMA and other opposition justified Dinka tribe members in opposition are Juba regime spies? Can you be specific which party said this allegation? That's for you now.
Allow me to answer this question, huh? Although it is going to be repetitive, because it seems Charles Bach is determined. He just need answer. It's not
It's not
Bach. He doesn't want.
It's called Charles Atahile. Is one of the IO member representative.
Yeah, Charles. Oh, Atahile. Okay. No.
Yeah.
He was actually, he said two things on his question.
Yeah.
Okay. He said, "Can you withdraw?" Okay. And then he said, "Can you withdraw your false accusation?" So he has concluded that what I said is false, and he wants me to withdraw it. Okay. And then he went and asked another question again. Can you specify which party say this allegation? You see, the question is even contradicting itself, because you should ask me, the right question should be, which party is specifically saying this allegation? And then if I don't mention the party, then you will ask me to withdraw the question. But that's where our problem is as South Sudanese. We do think the other way around. Okay, my brother, he has already concluded, and he's not even ready to listen. Okay, but Charles, thank you very much. But what I will tell you is that, you know what? If you want to ask a question, don't do two things. Don't conclude your question, and then you come around and ask a question. They don't work like that. Ask question, and then based on what I say, that's what Isaac and Madid and Agar said here, that the citizen will be there to judge. There are some people who will judge me and say what I said is true, and some will say what I said is not true. And there will be also people who will judge Emmanuel Ajawe, who already judged Emmanuel Ajawe, show that whether what Emmanuel said is true or is not true. Okay, but to conclude and ask me even to withdraw, my friend, I thought we are fighting for freedom. Let me say what I say. Don't even force me to withdraw anything. Okay, but I, you know, I like to be here in social media. I love it because this is where I interact with social media. Okay, we need one another. Okay, whether you don't come here and expect people to clap for you. Okay, I like Lake State Media because you guys are bringing up tough questions so that I answer them. I know there are good questions that you guys left there. You know, people who are supporting me or people who are encouraging me. You don't bring them, and I understand why. Because in media, you want things to be interesting. You want question to be asked. Okay, this is good. Okay, is good. But next time, make sure you mix them.
Don't we don't leave anything behind. We bring them all up here.
but my brother Charles, if you have a Facebook account, don't even look on what I said. Just watch tomorrow. You will see someone in one of the show coming and attack Dinka tribe. So you will see them attacking. If you haven't seen this all these years in social media, okay, forget about that, and just tune in tomorrow, and you will see from their reaction how they will attack Dinka and Jin Council and calling everybody Jin Council. You will see that. If you haven't seen that, you will see it. Okay, and I hope those of Isaac and Madid also can help me and inform our brother here. I don't know which social media you watch. Okay. Maybe they will not attack Dinka tomorrow because I highlighted this today. But let me assure you, there is a hope that SSOMA will come together. So I don't want to read our names. But if worse come to worse, okay, and we decided we part ways, okay, we are no longer working, it will be written in detail who is saying what and which show he said it and when he said it, against Dinka or against any tribe, for that matter, by the way. Okay? We will list all these, we will publish them, and we will go live and talk about them. But not today. Thank you.
Okay. There's a question here. The last question from Deng Tong Duop is asking, my question is, what you will do for the people who was killed in 2013?
By the way, that is a very, very important question and personal to me. In
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think that is.
Yeah.
In 2013, I was in Juba. I think what he meant is justice and accountability, and actually transitional justice. If there is a peace in country, what is it can be done to people who killed in 2013 and people who were killed in 2016 and people who are still getting killed as we speak. Okay, it's not only 2013. You should ask about the people who lost their life during all these crises. Okay, My brother who has a question, this question is personal to me. Because when I was in Juba in 2013, I have seen what happened. The killing that took place, it is not something should ever happen between brothers. Okay. Myself,
Okay.
I have lost relatives and I have lost friends. What we are saying, the rule of law will take its course through agreement. The peace agreement will talk about transitional justice. But what is more important than the rule of law and arresting people and all this, what is more important is reconciliation and healing. After the justice, there is a need for people to reconcile and forgive one another. Because if we don't forgive ourselves, we are going to kill more people. So there is a need for us as people of South Sudan at one point, when there is a comprehensive peace agreement, everybody is back home and we are united as people. Let's work towards whatever we are doing to be working towards peace, healing, and reconciliation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will give it back to you, Abraham, to wrap it up, and I'm done here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Isaac. Agar, do you have anything to add before we let our guests go? I think we come to an end.
I just said mine already, so that it was just only the advice for them, yeah, and it should be for General to put his last input, and then you, but it can wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So I have no more to say. I just want to say thank you, General Lual Dau, for coming in to Lake State Media and to react with us and answer the top question, because you know you are one of the person you answer a lot of top questions that we asked you this evening, and this is how we want our leaders to be asked to react with the citizens, and because the issues going on in our country is need dialogue. We need to talk to one another, and the more we talk, and the more we come up with a solution. This is what our leaders, the government and our opposition, need to do this, because the gun cannot bring peace and cannot bring stability in our country. We have so many thousand people living in refugee camp within South Sudan and across the neighboring country. And as I am a former refugee, I know how their life is be like living in refugee camp. The pain that our citizens living in the refugee camps is heartbreaking. And this is what we always want to preach in Lake State Media here, to send a message to our people. Whether you are a leader in opposition, a leader in the government, you are the supporters of opposition, you are a supporter of government, or you are middle. Our people need peace. And that is the only message that I want to tell our leaders, our people, that the only peace can bring stability. Let us put our differences aside and let's bring the common peace that our people need to go back home. People who are living in the refugee camp, they need to go back home. So this is the message that I want to pass. And for this said, for those of you who are watching, I thank you for watching this evening. And I want to send my thanks to General Musas Lual Dau. And for that, I will give the last closing statement to General Lual Dau before we close the show. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. We'll go ahead, General.
Madid Majak, Isaac, Agar, and the entire Lake State Media and the audience that have been watching with us for the last few hours. Let me sincerely thank each and what you guys mentioned. It is true. When we talk about democratic transformation in the country, we have to be ready as leaders to answer tough questions anytime they are asked. Because when we reach a point in South Sudan when we silence guns, the only way people will fight through words and questions. So if anybody who wants to be a leader in South Sudan, you need to prepare yourself to answer tough questions, whether from the media or from the people, from the citizen, or anywhere. Okay. So I thank you very much for asking tough questions, and also thank your audience for asking that question. What I want to say, and before I say that, let me thank our brother Agar, one of the hosts, for his advice. Really, he's a young man who cares about the country move in the right direction. Your advice is well taken. I hope we listen to you and other young men who are calling for unification of not only opposition, but for all of us as a people of South Sudan to unite and move on with the development of our country. So your message is well taken, and thank you for that. Let me conclude with really three messages. One, to our people in internally displaced, to our people who are refugees in neighboring countries, to a widow somewhere in South Sudan, to an SPLA soldiers who have gone for months without salary, to a citizen who cannot afford anything in Juba today because the commodity becomes so expensive that they cannot afford anything in the market. They just see stuff in the market and they cannot even buy them to their kids. Let me take this opportunity to tell you that we in SSOMA, we feel your pain. We understand what you are going through. But please continue to be strong. Hope. Keep your hope alive. Things will be better tomorrow. Whatever situation you are going through today, it will come to an end. Let's continue to be strong. Let's continue to be united. The other message is to all the people of South Sudan, irregardless of political affiliation. Brothers and sisters, our country is bleeding. And time has come for us to unite and make sure that country called South Sudan is above our tribe, is above our political affiliation, is above our regions, is above our personal interests. This message, I wanted to be echoed everywhere. Whether in social media you are discussing, make sure that your friend that you are attacking today, or you are accusing today, or you are hurting today, you need him tomorrow for the development of South Sudan. Let's be mindful of ourselves as people and make sure that we respect ourselves and make sure that our country is above all our personal interests and our personal gains. And let me conclude by saying, SSOMA, still with all these difficulties, let me assure our members, whether in South Sudan or in the region or in the diaspora, that these difficulties and challenges within SOMA will come to an end. And all of us, as one SOMA, under the leadership of General Paul Malone, Pagana Mom, and Thomas Cirillo, will come together, united and strong more than ever. We'll go back to Rome. We will negotiate a very strong peace agreement with the government and be assured that we will join our brothers and sisters inside South Sudan and have a unified South Sudan that is again realize the dreams and aspirations of millions of South Sudanese who have perished in order for us to be independent, to have equality, to have justice and freedom for all of us. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, General Lual. We have come to an end. Abraham.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, General, for wonderful closing statement. Thank you for coming to the State Media. Thank you. I think I was a
Thank you so much, Emmanuel Kembe. We just come to an end. Okay.
It's your boy Young Ajib in that time. Pancho leg stand and punchy America. Panji doll, the Banaban. Pancho leg stand and punchy America. Panji doll, the Banaban. Walk on the lake and carry water no watching. Oga leg gear, wow, right leg. Panda with ya, punchy America. Panya doll, Bano. Chingatonga Pandon could you ever buy a checker? Papu Panda Jiro, what ya be doll eventing. Stand and punchy America, Panji doll, Banaban, Pancho leg stand and punchy America, Panji doll, Banaban, walk on the lake and carry water no watching, Oga leg gear, wow, right leg, Panda with ya, punchy America, Panya doll, Bano, Chingatonga Pandon, Kujera by a checker.
Thank you so much. God bless you.